Hello and welcome to Experience Boost Gameplay. My name is Archive.
And I'm Rin.
And I have no idea what we're doing.
We're playing Cinderella Phenomenon.
Well, other than that, I know we're playing Cinderella Phenomenon, but we are once again in the hallway of transition, which is the best place to leave off and start the adventure. But I don't remember what happened last time. From what I recall, we know about Rod's curse now.
Yes.
The question is whether or not he will die when the girl that he was in love with, I don't know if she still is or not, but marries someone, is will he die? If he doesn't break his curse, will he die? That's the question. But if he does break his curse, what will happen? Because, I mean, his mom's married to the king. Mm-hmm. Does the king all of a sudden stop loving his mom? I think that was actually truth, that he loved his mom, and he just found her.
Found her because of it.
Because that's how Rin's mom was holding blackmail over his head. Yep. So, and that won't just go away. So it's a little weird. I'm not sure exactly what will break there if the curse got broken. So that'll be interesting. Anyway, we should continue on with the story. We're getting close. Yes, I feel like we are.
Getting close.
Preparing for the ball.
Rod is absent from the palace for the rest of the day and returns only once the sun has set to prepare for the ball. I have not been able to talk to him since, but I assume that he has been to the Martian to tell Delora and Parfait about our suspicions of Sir Alcaster being a witch. I hope they come up with an effective plan for dealing with him. The palace is not safe so long as he's here.
Or is it only safe because he's there? Perhaps he's holding something off.
The ball is just about to start that evening, and I have been asked to make sure none of the guests are lost in wandering the hallways. I have been walking around for a while, directing any late guests in the right direction. That should be everyone. But as I turn the corner, I notice two people lingering by a column. Excuse me, the throne room is... I pause when I look more closely at the two men in front of me. I recognize one of them instantly. Yep.
Who's that dude?
What is Sir Alcaster doing outside of the throne room? And who is that man he's with? That's not what's-his-face?
Who? Fritz?
No, the other guy? The creepy one?
Mithros?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like Mithros.
I can't remember what Mithros looks like. It's been a while, you guys.
They look like they also share the same eyes.
Cool drawing, though.
Alcaster and him share the same eyes.
It can't be...
Could be Fritz. He just dyed his hair.
Can it? You're right. Like...
Rin.
Sir Alcaster gestures me toward him, and I approach warily.
This is Varg. He's one of the guests for the ball.
Uh-huh.
Look at that crafty smile. He's like, I know something you don't.
Uh-huh.
Varg sweeps aside his cape as he bows, and I curtsy and dip my head to hide my expression.
I was like, why are you
I don't know why I started reading that. It just happened.
I have not heard of a Varg, and why would he be bowing to a mere maid?
Uh-huh.
Also, why is he wearing such an elaborate costume and mask? This is not a masquerade
Well, that's
ball.
a first red flag right there.
You're right. If Varg is an acquaintance of Sir Alcaster, there is no telling what or who he truly is.
Varg is one of the suitors for Princess Emmeline. Would you please escort him to the throne room? I will be along shortly.
Varg's politeness is even more suspicious. Of course, Sir Alcaster. I meet Varg's gaze briefly and cannot help but frown at the way he is smirking at me. This way. Varg and I make our way toward the throne room. I cannot help but feel wary of the fact that he's following behind me, where I cannot see
Yeah,
him.
that would freak me out. Oh, let's see here. If the maids are this lovely, the princess must be truly beautiful.
Varg laughs and I grip my teeth at the sound.
What? It was meant as a compliment. There's no need to look at me like that.
Varg looks at me curiously.
Are maids not allowed to speak in this place?
I have nothing to say.
Not the most cheerful person on staff, are you?
Thankfully, the doors to the throne room appear as soon as we turn a corner, and I do not have to come up with a response to his words. We are here.
You think you'd have guards, like, everywhere.
Right.
You invite a bunch of people into your house. You're gonna have guards everywhere.
I gesture towards the throne room and move to leave, but Varg's voice stops me.
You should at the very least escort me inside and introduce me to the princess, don't you think? Don't do it. He's like a vampire. He can't come in unless you invite him in. Isn't that what a maid should do?
Technically, that is the announcer's job. If Varg came so late, he probably already missed the introductions.
I wouldn't want to think badly of any of the servants at the palace.
I take a deep breath to calm myself down before turning toward the doors. Follow me. I can tell the moment I step into the room that the official introductions have already passed. Most of the guests have already begun to mingle and scatter across the throne room as the band sets up. No one notices when I walk into the throne room in front of Varg. I do not trust Varg, not if he's associated with Sir Alcaster. I might have time to warn someone about him while he is distracted. But who?
Uh-oh.
We're gonna warn Rod, right? Rod would want to know.
He would want to know. This is true. But I almost...
But he's kind of gone. I think we only have a moment to warn Emmeline. I don't know.
I don't know. This is like a big decision.
Big decision.
It's not just a matter of whether or not we, hit it off with Rod. This is like...
life and death for
exactly
someone.
Right?
For Emmeline, probably.
What should we do?
Well,
Will Emmeline know that? We haven't told Emmeline anything, though. She knows nothing of the... she doesn't even know there's a witch there.
Right.
So warn Rod?
Well, why can't I warn them both?
Right.
That's what I would do.
Right.
I'd first warn Emmeline, and then I'd warn Rod. But I think you're right. I don't know what she would do with the information.
She has no idea what's been going on this whole time.
Okay. Oh, he is there. My eyes fall on Rod. I notice that he's leaning against one of the walls, away from the crowds. I head directly for him, moving quickly so that Varg is not right behind me. Rod. Rod frowns at me as I come to stand in front of him.
What?
There's a man here called Varg. I think Sir Alcaster brought him.
Sir Alcaster?
Apparently Varg is one of the suitors for Emmeline's hand. Rod glances past me at Varg, his eyes narrowed.
Is that him? Is that Varg?
When I turn back and follow his line of sight, I almost gasp in shock. Varg is bent over one of Emmeline's hands, clearly having just pressed a kiss to the back of it.
Should have kept him away from Em.
Oh, dang it. But Rod and I are not too far away so we can Rod and I are not too far away so we can hear him clearly, but the throne room is already hushed at the sight of the crown princess being so boldly directly addressed.
May I have the first dance, Your Highness?
I feel sick, but cannot bring myself to say anything more as Emmeline puts her hand in Varg's. Sorry. I accept, Lord Varg. The moment Emmeline makes her way to the center of the dance floor, a man signals to the band, and the musicians start playing.
Dang it!
Dang it!
This feels wrong.
I can only nod as I watch Varg pull Emmeline closer. At first, it is just he and Emmeline dancing, but then other couples gradually trickle in to join them. I do not like this at all. Rod and I watch in silence as the first dance continues on. I know for a fact that Rod must see the dreamy smile on Emmeline's face as certainly as I can. When the music stops, both of us move as one toward Emmeline. Even though the dance is over and Varg has released her, they still stand close together in the center of the room. The silence is interrupted when the double doors open and Sir Alcaster, along with 2 knights, stalk into the center of the room where Emmeline and Varg stand. Their arrival causes an uneasy stir in the crowds. The king rises from his throne, eyebrows drawn.
Alcaster, is there some kind of disturbance?
Alcaster says nothing as the knights stationed around the room approach Emmeline and Varg and stand around them, encircling them. Oh crap, we picked the wrong one! Emmeline's expression shifts from confusion to fear. The crowd becomes even more anxious.
Alcaster, explain this.
Alcaster briefly glances at him, but says nothing. He turns back to his knights and snaps his fingers. The knights pull out their swords and point them at Emmeline.
Em!
I reach out to grab Rod's hand before he can make his way toward her. Rod, it is too dangerous.
I know, but...
Thoughtless actions have the potential to put Emmeline in even more danger. Rod's only response is to tighten his grip on my hand. I place my other hand over his to reassure him, and slowly but surely his grip begins to loosen. I turn my gaze back to the king.
Alcaster, stop this immediately. What do you think you're doing? Something I should have done a long time ago. I have been nothing but loyal to this kingdom, and all I have ever wanted was for Angiel to thrive. But ever since the Queen died, this kingdom has become weak. It is because you are a weak ruler, Gennaro. What? The people were more productive back then, more disciplined during the late Queen's reign. The kingdom has become less productive without fear to drive them. When there is power, there is order. Power is not something that should be needlessly used to control people. It needs to protect them. You, of all people, should know that.
Sir Alcaster shakes his head.
I, of all people, know that order is what makes a hierarchy stronger. I am only doing what is necessary. I am reorganizing the system. Hand over the crown, Gennaro.
Sir Alcaster turns his head to Varg, who remains standing beside a scared Emmeline.
You will obey me if you do not want your precious daughter harmed.
Please, leave my daughter out of this. Emmeline steps back, her eyes now brimming with tears.
Varg, seize the princess.
As soon as Sir Alcaster gives the order, Rod immediately lets go of my hand and rushes toward his sister. Rod, no! I quickly follow after him, but Rod suddenly stops in his tracks. I bump abruptly into his back. Rod?
Varg!
Sir Alcaster's booming voice echoes around the room, which has suddenly gone eerily silent. My eyes move to Varg, but he is standing motionless. What is happening? Finally, Varg smirks. He steps to the side, standing in front of Emmeline as if to block her from view. Sir Varg?
You must be delusional, old man. I'm not letting you anywhere near the princess.
The knight's next movements are... let me try that again. The knight's next movements are a blur as they rush at Sir Alcaster. In mere moments, he has been disarmed and pinned to the ground. Several more knights have also appeared from behind to surround Sir Alcaster. A man emerges from in between the circle of knights. He moves to stand beside Varg and Emmeline.
Here's Mithros.
There he is. Sir Mithros looks at Sir Alcaster disdainfully. It's not Dolores, right? Like Delora? Pretending to be...
I have no idea because he seemed like he trusted Varg. I'm really confused.
I'm confused too.
Alcaster trying to take over, that's fine. That makes sense. Yeah. But the double cross here?
Who is Varg?
I don't know. What is the meaning of this?
Oh yeah, sorry.
What is the meaning of this, Mithros? We had a deal.
Anger is now palpable in Sir Alcaster's flushed face.
Did we now? Mithros, explain yourself.
Sir Mithros drops to one knee in front of the king.
Of course, your majesty.
He raises his head slightly to look at the king.
I have known for a long while that the man you see before you is a traitor. I was even aware of his plans, but I could not tell you of them without any evidence. 2 of your knights have tried to inform you of these plans before, but we all looked down on them with disdain. Oh, those are the 2 knights that left, that are at the Martian.
Oh, yeah.
I had to make sure that I did not come unprepared like they did. Jurian and Garland?
Jurian and Garland. What? Both of them knew of Sir Alcaster's plans? Was that the reason why they were dishonorably discharged for false accusations?
I knew enough of his plan that I could thwart it. This is why I thought the best way to reveal his dastardly ways was to craft a fake alliance with him. Sir Varg and I have been working together to unravel Alcaster's plans, Your Majesty. Varg is an invaluable accomplice. And now you trust us, and you owe us, and so we can take over the kingdom.
I still want to know if Varg is really the son Or
Fritz?
not. Fritz, or not. Oh,
I don't think
I
he
want to
is.
know what's going on. Wait, so Sir Mithros has been pretending to work with Sir Alcaster this whole time?
And so we arrive at the events of tonight. I apologize for undertaking this task without seeking your counsel, Your Majesty. But I could think of no better way to end this madness once and for all. You lying snake!
Sir Mithros stands and turns to Alcaster. He gestures at him dismissively.
Seize him.
The knight's next movements are a blur. The men rush Sir Alcaster all at once. Wait. We already did that.
Oh yeah,
It's been repaired.
he's already pinned to the ground. He's repinned to the ground.
Woohoo! Isn't Sir Alcaster a witch? Why is he not using his magic?
Mithros, I'm indebted to you for saving us. The whole kingdom is. I only did what was necessary, Your Majesty.
But look at that smile. I still don't trust him.
Right?
The king glances at the knights, then at Sir Alcaster, his gaze steely.
Take him away.
Sir Alcaster struggles uselessly against the knights as they drag him away. He is nearly out at the door when he starts screaming at the king.
General, you are a fool! That man is a witch, a snake. You cannot trust him. No, Alcaster. I was wrong to put my trust in you.
Even as Sir Alcaster is pulled from the room, we can hear him babbling in the hallways about a witch. Sir Alcaster never used any magic to escape. Was he truly not a witch?
Are you all right, Princess?
I am pulled from my thoughts when I hear Varg's voice. He is now trying to comfort a shaken Emmeline. For a few moments he looks away and his eyes meet mine. He smiles, but it is fleeting, and moments later his attention is back on Emmeline. Still sketchy.
Yep.
The Hall of Transition. The ball comes to an abrupt end after Alcaster's stunt. He is thrown into a jail cell and promised a trial after a few days' time, where he will be tried for treason against the kingdom. I still can't believe Sir Alcaster would do something like that, and so brazenly, too. I wonder, what happened to Sir Fitzgerald? They say he vanished completely last night. Do you think he was working with his father? The truth is, I have no idea what to think. I had thought that I had everything figured out, but now I become more and more confused by the moment. Fritz was always loyal to a fault, but then Sir Alcaster was the same way with the king, and I have not seen or heard of Fritz for weeks. I cannot really say.
Ah, good morning, Princess Emmeline.
Sir Varg. Varg was offered a room at the palace for a few days' visit. He is being treated as Sir Mithros' valued guest. I have heard from the other servants that he is Sir Mithros' relative, who lives in a neighboring kingdom.
I hope that you're feeling well now, Princess.
Yes. Thank you for your help last night. Is Emmeline blushing?
I know I won't be here long, but I do hope to get to know you better during the duration of my stay.
I would love that.
Then I'm looking forward to spending more time with you.
Oh, I forgot that I am meant to be in my mother's room right now. Rin, Sir Varg, I'll see you both later. I curtsy as Emmeline walks off, leaving me alone with Varg. I cannot help but feel uneasy in his presence. Something about him puts me on edge. He makes me feel uncomfortable. Excuse me, I have errands to attend to.
Wait. Before you head out, I have something to give you.
Give me? Varg reaches into one of his pockets and withdraws a letter that he holds out to me. What's it say?
I don't know. What's it say?
What is this about?
Well, I guess you'll have to open it and find out, Princess.
Yeah, see, we knew. My blood turns to ice in my veins. He knows I am the princess. That could only mean that he is... I have no idea what you were talking about. Excuse me. I'm about to leave when Varg suddenly grabs my wrist.
The play is just about to start, Princess. You have a responsibility as the main character to perform impeccably until the very end. Otherwise, well...
He grins at me. It is the same wolfish smile that he flashed at me during the ball.
Oh, he's the wolf. Look at his cane.
Ah. But there's no wolf in the...
But there's wolf in lots of fairy tales.
Yeah, that's true.
You might miss out on your fairy tale ending.
What? Before I can say anything else, I feel a hand grip my other arm. Someone tugs me back and away from Varg, then comes to stand in front of me.
Stay away from her.
Rod? Varg looks at Rod, then at me, his smile growing more crooked.
What an interesting turn of events. I wonder how this will end for the both of you. Tell me, Rin, what is he to you?
Oh, I never know what to choose with Rod.
Do the ... right? Come on.
Might as well.
No answer, Be in denial all you want. At the end of the day, you're going to have to decide who and what you will choose.
Who or what to choose?
Yeah, that one was
Finally!
right. Silence. You were harassing one of our staff members.
Thanks, Rod.
Of course. I apologize for my rude behavior, Your Highness.
You seem to know a lot about us. Are you, I lower my voice. Are you a witch?
You're asking the wrong person, Princess. He knows who you really are. I think you two are worrying too much about me. After all, I'm just a pawn in this game.
Sorry, whenever he does that, it makes me go.
Right.
It's just, it doesn't seem, I don't know. Varg dips into an elegant bow and flashes one last smile before walking away.
Are you alright?
Oh, I love that concerned look.
Right?
So
I think we're gonna take a break
cute.
here. Man, that was a lot in one episode.
Right?
Like, I knew the ball was
That was
coming up.
intense.
I knew the ball was coming up, but I did not expect it just all of a sudden. I thought the ball would be like the end of the game, honestly.
I did too.
That was crazy. Things went down. Alcaster's in prison.
Well, we know Mithros.
Mithros has to be the witch, right?
I mean, we've been thinking that.
I mean, it almost insinuated that Rod's a witch, but that wouldn't make any sense at all. So, now Mithros has to be the witch. But what's the end game? You know, they're just going to get Emmeline to fall in love with Varg, and she picks him, and they rule the kingdom, or what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because obviously he said that Rin's the main character. They want the Tenebron crystal. That's what this whole thing's about.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, if you liked what you saw, guys, consider leaving a like below. Let me just restate that. And if you really like what you saw, consider subscribing to the channel. But we hope to see you next week as we continue our adventure here in the Cinderella Phenomenon. And we'll see how this goes. I mean, crazy things went down. I don't know how much longer is left, but I mean, the stakes just got a lot higher.
I know. That was intense and crazy and exciting.
Super exciting. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. Hope to see you next time. My name's Archive.
And I'm Rin.
Bye.
Bye.